Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
And welcome to
Portal
to the Paranormal. I'm Sarah.
I'm Jojo.
And you're watching Thriller Friday. So we're extremely excited with our special guest tonight. He has over 15 years worth of experience in the paranormal world.
Tonight, we would like to welcome from Help My House is Haunted, the legend that is
Barri Ghai. For those of you watching at home, just write your questions in the comments, and we'll do our very best to read them out. Okay, so let's get them on, shall we? Sorry, so excited. I'm shaking. I'm that excited. Add to stream.
Hi, Barry.
Hi, girls.
Welcome.
Thanks for the introduction.
Oh gosh. Oh, we really appreciate you coming on, having a little chin wag with us, Barry. Thank you so much. Oh God, do a little. We are not worthy.
We're not worthy. We are not worthy. So, do you mind if we ask you a few questions tonight?
Yeah, go for it.
We've invited some of our viewers to put any questions that they want in the box below as well. So we'll get to those as and when they appear.
Okay.
So, this is a question that you'll probably get asked all the time, but it is really important to ask it. So, how did you get into the paranormal world, and what inspired you? Take us back to the start, if you would, please.
Well, as a child, I had my own personal paranormal experiences, as many paranormal investigators do. And it kind of led me on this pathway of discovery. You know, I wanted to read the books that were around, all to do with the world of ghosts and supernatural. Back in the day when you went to the library, you know, I went with my library card and I took out all the books, flicked through them, read what I could. And I was just intrigued. I was scared. It was, you know, it's a scary thing, but I was intrigued. And I guess growing up as a child, having my own experiences, I was questioning whether or not, is this real? Is there something wrong with me? Can it be explained? Or other people? And well, actually, I found solace in the fact that other people were having similar experiences that I was reading about. So this is before the world of the internet. And as I got into my late teens, I went to university, and I remember going to bed around 2 a.m. one night, and I turned the lamp off, and someone grabbed my shoulder and started to do this. So I pulled the cover off my face, thinking it's my flatmate, and I was about to yell at someone. And there was a little girl stood by my bed.
Oh my God!
There were no kids in our student house. Okay, it was an 8-bedroom Victorian house, and my bedroom was probably where the kitchen dining area used to be in the house. And I looked, I could see the girl, she could see me, but I could see through her. I could see everything though. I could see her eyes, her hair, her nose, everything, every color of her pore, but I could still see the radiator behind her. So I kind of instinctively done one of my karate side kicks, and I didn't kick her, I just kicked through her where she was. She was still there though. And I don't know. To be honest with you, I was petrified. Okay, it was just, I didn't expect that at all. And 2 minutes later, she kind of dissipated and disappeared. And it was then that I ran upstairs to my flatmate and said, "Right, I'm sleeping with you." That experience led me to, think about the world of the paranormal in a different way. I'd had this amazing experience, and I decided I would go and investigate further. So as soon as I graduated, I met my now wife, and she spurred me on to investigate further. And I built a forum back in the day when you used to have chat rooms. So I built one. I taught myself how to code and everything, and I did that, and it became the Ghostfinder Paranormal Society, which was a forum and a website dedicated to explaining things in the paranormal, and also to get people's first-hand experiences. So it was a great way of sharing knowledge and information from around the world. And then I started investigating local places, cemeteries, buildings, and all that kind of thing. And that was it. It just went on from there. I mean, the TV side of things came later, but it was really my passion for the world of the supernatural that stemmed through from when I was a child to now.
Wow, amazing. Sarah Guy has just asked the question: how do your family feel about you doing this paranormal, all the paranormal investigations, and do they join in?
Well, believe it or not, my wife is a witch. She's a clairvoyant witch, and so we have a very complementary, role there. But my children, I have 7 daughters, and
yes.
they
For you, I mean, that's great, but you're
Happy
gonna have
birthday as well.
yeah, you're gonna have to buy a shotgun for those girls because
I believe one turned 18 this week.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
No boyfriends, none.
Well, they've got some of them got boyfriends already. So the 18-year-old, she turned 18, bless her, this week. But they all love what I do, and they enjoy it. And in fact, the younger ones, say not the youngest ones, but the middle ones, they love watching the shows. I mean, they'll put them on and stuff. Whereas I don't tend to put it on TV at home. And I've watched it, I've seen it a few times already. But Freya, for example, will take my iPad and she'll be watching episodes of Help My House is Haunted, Ghost Adventures, Ghost of Shepherd's Town. They're just into it. They love it.
Wow. Oh, it's great.
Amazing.
You've got some great support.
It's good that you've got the support. That is amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, you're itching to ask this question, aren't you?
Yeah. So you use a lot of equipment on your investigations. So what's your favourite piece of equipment?
Well, that'd be my digital voice recorder. So I'm an ITC practitioner, instrumental transcommunication. I really enjoy trying to communicate with spirits using electronic methods, sound audible. So the digital voice recorder for me is a go-to tool, and it's a thing that I would do all the time. Why? Because if I can get validation from spirit that we are genuinely communicating with something and someone, that will really help to further the investigation and the methods of what we do, why we do it, and what we're there to do and to achieve.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What kind of apps would you recommend? Because I've seen there's an Echo app, and I tried to look for it on my phone last night.
I know you use the Necrophonic. We've all got the Necrophonic, and we think that's amazing, and the Paravox. But what would you recommend as the best app to get?
To be honest with you, I never used apps ever until before we did series 3, and we
is that the celebrity?
The third series of Help My House Haunted. And I just decided to experiment with using an app, and lo and behold, we got amazing results. And I thought that it's either coincidental or there's something really going on here. So I carried on experimenting, and I got some phenomenal results. So as you've seen on the show, so I use Paratech, I use Echovox, Necrophonic. We've used Paravox as well, and a few others that we're experimenting with. I might be using, right now, currently I'm looking at another one to use, but it all depends really, because they all do similar things. Some of them are word banks. Word banks are fine because you'll have, say, 2,000 words in the application itself, and the response you get will be based on changes that the computer algorithm will put forward. If there's a change in the environment and stuff. But remember, the tablet or the phone you're using only has certain sensors that it can work on, for movement, for example, or the magnetometer that's used to kind of direct you and that kind of thing. So it's limited in how it works. What I prefer to use is the applications with banks of phonetics like Echovox, for example, where you have not full words, you have parts of words and sounds, and they're all in different word banks, so A, B, C, D, and E, whatever, and it will randomly select, randomly select parts of these words to build up sentences or words that are meaningful. The majority of the time when I'm using it, I'm getting great results, but there is a reason for that, and the reason is that we are investigating locations where there are genuine reports of paranormal activity and consciously intelligent and aware spirits. If you go to a property, for example, where you're dealing with residual energy and you're using an application, you might not get anything. You'll get random nonsense. So you have to be careful where you're using it and why, and make sure that there is a justification for using that application in the first place.
We were at Merley House when we were in the nursery, and we was using Necrophonics, and baby come up and children come up on it, and I'm thinking, are you listening to me? Is these apps, can they be sort of manipulated in some way? You don't know, do you? You don't know whether you can trust them or not.
That's a question I get asked all the time as well. I didn't build the app, I don't know, but I do not think it's possible for them to be recording our questions disseminating them using a very sophisticated computer program to then spit out words in response to that. I don't think that's possible, not yet anyway. It's artificial intelligence otherwise, and we don't have the software built into these devices. So yes, we do get tracked. Yes, Google tracks us and all those other kind of things, but tracking is location driven. So I don't think there is enough information out there to send your location, tell the computer where you are, what you're doing at the same time, listening to your conversation and respond accordingly. So trust me, the responses you're getting, like babies, children in that environment, are probably coming from genuine spirit.
Yeah. I love a good parlor trick, and I love the Victorian methods and things like that. But I do understand that they are very sort of easily influenced, should I say. We do like the Ouija board and glass and marble, like glass work, dowsing rods and things like that. What are your thoughts on those things? Oh, table tipping. Love a bit of table tipping.
No, I'm all for traditional forms of divination, and we try to apply them whenever we can, but where it's appropriate. I don't find table tipping as amazing and impressive as some people. Why? Because I've never seen it genuinely tip. I've seen people on the board, and I think the idiometer effect or some form of subconscious movements and are responsible for a lot of those kinds of manipulations. Not saying that people are faking it. I'm saying that people are perhaps in the mood, in the zone, in that frame of mind, and that collective energies are somehow stimulating these things to happen without even realizing it. I use spirit boards. I don't often, but we do, especially on the program, where we think it will work and benefit us, we'll use spirit boards. But I do love things like your traditional seance. I think lighting a candle, saying a prayer, opening yourself up to spirit and allowing them to interact and engage with you is brilliant. But you do need to validate it with things like a voice recorder or an ITC application or something. So you're getting validation, because there are people out there that are still skeptics, people are sitting on the fence. So
it builds energy as well, doesn't it? We find with our groups, because we're events managers, we go all over the UK and we bring guests with us that are like Joe Blogs, and they just want to experience the paranormal. And we find that, if you come in, you have a good time, you build up the energy, you talk about your experiences with the paranormal, then they tend to get involved, the spirits, and you lay out a few cat balls and a few K2 meters and things like that, and do a seance, of course, build that energy, build that positive energy. And even if nothing happens, because not all the time that happens, does it?
I can't guarantee anything.
You might get that one little thing that'll happen, a whisper in the ear or something, or move, or someone gets touched, and that builds up the whole night, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. Building energy is important, especially when you've got lots of people there. If you're doing a public event, you really need to make sure that everybody's on the same wavelength, and sometimes it can take one person to spoil the energy in a group. And it's not that they're not doing it intentionally, but they're almost a block. They're almost so protected and unable to be recipients of these things that they stop it for everyone else. But that is the nature of public events. I guess I call myself psychic. I never have done, but I do have an ability to hear spirits and I guess communicate with them in my own way. I think spirits are attracted to me for some reason, and I'm able to communicate with them.
Excellent.
Go on. So Belinda's just asked a question now. What is the best voice you got on a recorder?
What's the best EVP?
The best EVP is coming. We've just filmed a few episodes of Help My House is Haunted, and there are 2 EVP responses that will blow everybody away. Really? So they're so good. They're as clear as me saying to you now, talking to you. It's just incredible. And there's no, and it gets weirder than that, because the EVP was recorded on one voice recorder and not the other, and they're the same model using the same format, same SD card and everything. And radio mics didn't pick it up, and neither did my body camera, which I was wearing, which records audio. So it was only captured as a grade A EVP, and it will actually take grade A to a new level. I think I need to revamp our EVP grading system to include A+, because this would be the best EVP ever heard.
We can't wait for that. What episode? What episode is that we've got to watch out for?
It will be in series 4 of Help My House is Haunted, and it will be. We don't know what transmission order it will be. We filmed it as episode 8, but it won't probably be episode 8. It's more likely to be episode 4 or 5.
We just have to watch them all.
Oh yes.
So talking about My House is Haunted, we're both avid watchers, as is all our team as well. The way that you film, the way you work with Jane Harris and Ian Lawman, the way everything ties together, it blows your mind. So what's it like to work with Ian and Jane?
They're both brilliant. I love working with these guys. I mean, I've worked with Sandy, Chris, Ian, Jane from season 1 all the way through now to season 4.5, I guess. And they're amazing. I mean, Ian is very talented. He's gifted. He's a genuine medium with skills and abilities that will blow you away. He knows things before they happen. He's able to use his feels and his spidey senses to direct us.
Is it all genuine? How nobody knows what anybody else is doing, and yet it all ties in 100%. Together.
Ian goes in blind. So for example, tomorrow morning, for brand new episode we're doing, Ian will arrive. I'll be driving. Ian will arrive at the location. He'll go into the house. He doesn't know anything, and he will do his psychic walkthrough while I'm interviewing someone and Jane's interviewing another person, and then we come back together and discuss what's happened. And that's the beginning of our spirit trigger session. So it's amazing how it all gels together well.
It just seems to gel every time, doesn't it? It's amazing.
It does. And Jane equally is fantastic as an investigator and researcher. And she brings an element of, historical context and validity. And sometimes it's to, all three of us suddenly connect the dots when we're together. And those dots go, oh my God, mind blown. Now we know what we're dealing with. Now we know what direction to take. Yeah. This investigation might take an easy turn or a more sinister turn. We never know.
It's the same when we take our guests out on investigations. They all come up with evidence, all the different groups, because we split our groups into like 3 teams and we have certain locations and then we switcheroo. Well, you know how it works anyway, Barry. And then we all come up with the evidence at the end and the names match up. We do wash up, don't we? Yeah. Names match up, history matches up. And it's like, wow, there's got to be something in it if there's so many results that are exactly the same. And like history and the paranormal go hand in hand, don't they?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, history is important because especially in England, we've got thousands of years of history, and we've got the ability to research as far back as what's written in the Doomsday Book and stuff, and that really helps us because it doesn't just always give us a narrative line for a episode, but it allows us to connect better with the spirit and resolve these things, And I find it fascinating. I love history myself personally. I do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite location then that you've been on within the series? Within all of them?
Yeah, I don't know. I've done like 58 episodes. I have no idea. Some of them are brilliant. I mean, Uncle Tom's Cabin in Wincanton was a lovely, brilliant location. It was beautiful. It was full of history, amazing activity there. But equally, I've been to, Chillingham Castle, which was rich with activity and history there, but on a totally different level. And I feel more connected actually to the kind of Scottish English war, that period there. I just felt more connected to that. It was more emotive for me. I don't know. I can't say 100%.
Pinpoint one, no.
No, they're all brilliant in their own way. I mean, some are stronger than others, definitely. But the last episode we did was truly remarkable. I don't know. I can't say any more than that. It's just
yet to watch it. I have. We've done what was the one that was Toya Wilcox? When you got choked out, Barry. Oh my OMG! What was going through your mind? You were really.
How did you compose yourself to carry on after that? That was
because I felt like a complete wuss. Very, very rare to have anything physical happen to you. Okay, and I've been scratched a few times. I've been poked, prodded, pushed, whatever. But it's different when someone literally squeezed onto my windpipe and I couldn't take a breath in.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
Well, the instinct was I can't breathe and I haven't got any air in me. I'm going to die. So I was that panicked that it all kind of went too quick. And watching it back, I was a little bit cringy, and I was like, oh my god, what did I do?
No, your face.
Um,
Oh, you're going down this. Someone's grabbed my windpipe. I was like, oh my god, Barry,
Yeah.
you're all right, love. Barry.
a lot of people did. I tell you, it went viral. I mean, Lad Bible and all those other people posted it all over the place. And the amount of criticism, the amount of ridicule I got for it, trust me.
Oh, it's all right. It's like any sort of, it's all good. Yeah.
So who was your favourite celebrity then?
Oh, good question. I love Toya. Toya was wonderful.
Yeah,
She's
she was,
a beautiful person and very in touch with her spiritual side. And she's just naturally born to be in this limelight. I loved them all. I mean, Aaron Kraskell for me was a bit of a fangirl moment for me. I used to watch.
He was a bit of a wuss though, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, I say I watched Aaron, on Facebook for years before. My wife was like showing me videos, and I just got into watching him, and I thought it was hilarious. And then knowing that I was going to go around his house and investigate with him, when I got there, I was like, "Oh my god, Aaron!" I said, "I'm sorry, I'm so embarrassed." I'm like a proper fan, and he was like, "Oh my god, it's Barri Ghai. I'm a proper fan." I was like, "What?" It was great. It was really good. And Martin Roberts, again, he's a true gentleman, and he's very well educated, articulate, and he understood exactly what was going on, and he was really getting into it, and I loved that about him. So they're all fantastic people, and I enjoy working with them. Great experience.
Good stuff.
Sarah Guys just asked a question. She said, "Is there any county in England that you find more activity in?"
Ooh, county in England. Do you know Norfolk is very active?
Is it?
We've got we've had a lot of cases there, and a lot of people reporting activity from around the area, and also Essex, believe it or not.
Well,
Some of the more violent poltergeist type phenomena has come from Essex in my research. Anyway, I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's easy to answer because across the country there are so many haunted locations, and people don't come forward to tell you that their houses are haunted. It's a taboo subject still. It's people find it ridiculed and whatever. So we have traveled the length and breadth of the country, and we have experienced things everywhere. I prefer to go to places with a bit more of a kind of country scenic view, like in Ludlow, for example. That was lovely. Or in Devon and Cornwall and those places, and Wales as well. Beautiful. I'm one of these people like, oh no, we're going to a city centre. Oh good God, I'm not one of them. I just want to go somewhere where I can open the doors and go, beautiful. I'm in the countryside. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, we stream to Parapost, which have a lot of American followers, and they love the UK. They really do, because we are so rich in that kind of history, aren't we? We've got the castles.
They've got nothing, have they?
Yeah, well, they've got 200 years.
100 years, and
we've got thousands. But they've got the American Indians. Yeah.
Yeah, the Native Americans, obviously, and that history goes back. But before that, you have the Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas.
Yeah,
I studied American history at university. It was like it's easier to do because it was shorter, so that's why I did it. But
easy subject.
I love American history.
Yeah, it's great, but it's also we're very, very different, and now our methodologies are the same, our investigative techniques are the same, but we do have, and I will say we are very privileged in the UK to have castles, thousands of years of history. Land use that goes back to Saxons, Normans, and Vikings, and it's just incredible. Some of those spirits will still make their presence felt and known today, thousands of years. Why? Because time is irrelevant. It's like for them it's yesterday. For us, it's 1,000 years. But we seem to have a lot of interaction with Roman soldiers. We have interaction with Vikings and Saxons, and there's a lot more in terms of the historical mapping of this country. We just need to get to grips with it. We need to continue to investigate. That's what we need.
I do fancy, though, Barry, sorry. I do fancy an American road trip, like the New England strip, like going to Rhode Island, going to the Conjuring House, going up to like Salem, going to see the Lizzie Borden. Do you not fancy any of that?
Yes, but likewise, anyone over in the States wants to come over here and experience the ancient Ram Inn, the
Yes, they do.
Drive
Spirit,
and Skirrid and all these places. So we're privileged to have them on our doorstep here.
Yeah.
But you fly over to the States and you've got a different ballpark,
Yeah.
and that's great because we get the best of both worlds. My friend Zach Bagans and Aaron and Billy and Jay, they're investigating over there some locations that I would love to go to, on a daily basis. But likewise, they'd want to be here to investigate some of the places that we do every weekend.
Yeah.
So one of our team members, Jo, little Jo, she's asking, is there a place that you've been to that you would not like to return?
Good question, right? In series 1 of Help My House is Haunted, we did 39 De Grey Street in Hull. And it was afterwards, it affected me massively. It affected me through attachment, psychologically, and all sorts. I was affected. And I always vowed never to return to that place because of the way it made me emotionally feel. But I did. Last year, I went back. Or was it last year? It was last year. I went back there and I did a public event. And then I did my own solo challenge. And I'm fine. I think I've got over my fear of the place. I got amazing evidence. I got a table with all my equipment on and stuff moved in front of everyone. It was crazy. Some great Echovox responses, great EVPs, good validation, and some pretty scary personal experiences.
So what made you not want to go back there then?
So when I first investigated it, it affected me emotionally. I had this feeling of foreboding. When I left there, I couldn't shift this feeling of sadness.
Right.
And it was a sadness as if I've lost my kids or something. It was that kind of emotional turmoil. And I didn't realize it, but I did have something latching onto me that took its toll on me. It was chipping away and really just made me feel bad for a very long time. And it took some cleansing. It took some positive affirmations and words, spiritual guidance and advice from my friends and my wife and everyone to come together and pull me out of that dark place. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to face my fears anyway. I've been doing this for so long.
I think that's what you needed to do. Yeah, rise above it. I mean, I think the demonic do get far too much publicity, don't they? And do you think maybe it could have been something like that?
Oh, I know it was.
Yeah.
It was something that was otherworldly. I would talk about imps a lot. Imps are, your lower vibrational entities. Some people call them demons. In religious context, people call them, these imps that are doing the bidding of a demon or a higher lord demon, for example. Anyway, I believe that I had an imp attachment. I believe that it was affecting me on that level. And it was causing me to think bad thoughts, be bad. It was terrible. It was the worst kind of affliction ever.
We've just got a message from Nick, and actually I have said to you, Barry, about this. You should join the PTTT team at the very active place of Manor Farm, and you did the Bursledon Brickworks not so long ago.
We're going there soon.
Yeah, but it's not as good as Manor Farm, which was literally up the road. It's like a 16th century farm with all the fittings and everything, and the activity there. It's amazing, isn't it? Really
Maybe
good.
You could join us next time.
Maybe we're going to Halloween, but you probably got bigger and better things to do, mine. But
especially around Halloween.
Offers there.
Well, send me the details, and if I'm free, I'll try and turn up.
Perfect.
Be amazing. Okay, so I've got a question for you, Barry. Okay, coming from an Asian background, myself, the paranormal is quite a taboo subject, isn't it? And there's paranormal activity in every culture and every I'll try and word this right. What is your thoughts on this? Do you feel it's like swept under the carpet, or is it okay? Do you think to talk about it? Do you know what I'm getting at?
I do. I think it's taboo with some people, but I think culturally it's not. I think it forms a massive staple part of religious context for everybody, for whether you're Hindu, Muslim, whether you're Christian or Buddhist, it doesn't matter, because there is a basis in every religious book that talks about the spirit. It is everything. So Jesus Christ, for example, is a Holy Spirit, so the idea and knowledge of people finding it taboo, it's only in their personal world. People don't want to talk about things that are affecting or afflicting them as a family or unit or personally, because of the fear of ridicule, and people actually will just say it's mental health.
Yeah.
Now, there's a fine line between that, isn't there, between mental health and what we perceive paranormal. And I think as investigators, more and more times you're finding that it's commonplace. We recently actually we filmed an episode which is going to be amazing, where we looked at an Islamic haunting, a jinn.
Brilliant.
A jinn.
This is stuff I was interested in. Yeah, fantastic.
It's the first time on British television that you'll ever see that. You know, in terms of a ghost hunting TV program that we do, you know, an investigation where we are supporting an Islamic family. And I'm telling you now, it will be the best episode you've seen on Help My House is Haunted. I guarantee that.
Wow, I'm super excited about that.
Can't wait.
I mean, it's a learning experience. Even the Catholic Church, they give they give support in things like that, don't they? And exorcisms, and it's like you want to learn from it. It's not poking it with a stick. It's if you can't conquer it unless you can understand it. That's my feelings on it. Like Ed and Lorraine Warren, for starters, she was a big Catholic, wasn't she? And she was a psychic medium, and she could see things. And people out there do need help with these things. And who do you go to when you need help? My House is Haunted, obviously. Help My House is Haunted.
Yeah, we do our best. In fact, we were just talking about that, you know, an hour ago. We were discussing it, you know, why we have this passion for doing what we're doing, and the answer is clear. It's I love the feeling of helping people that are in genuine, desperate need of help, and it's not on a psychological basis. It's everything. It's to do with, can we help the spirit, and spirits plural, and can we help them? How can we improve their lives from today? And I know we only have a short space of time with the families. You know, we're filming for a very short window of time, but we obviously are doing something right, because 99% of the time we've helped to the point where the homeowners are happy and they're feeling better and content and can move on.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at when you die, what are your thoughts and what are your beliefs as to, I mean, personally, I think that the body is just a vessel and your spirit will live on, and that's why we do what we do. What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs?
Interesting question. Another one that I just discussed earlier on. Okay. So, good friend Neil Story, author, historian, he said to me that the body is just a husk. Yeah. That's how he termed it. And yes, it is. It's a vessel. And when it dies, that shell, that husk, peels away. It deteriorates. It becomes food for other organisms. Yeah. But our consciousness is our soul. It's our spirit. And I believe that the consciousness exists infinitely, you know, in interdimensions. It cannot be destroyed because it's a form of energy. And we know that Einstein's theory of thermodynamics and stuff, talking about energy transference and the fact that it can never be created or destroyed. It just lives on and it transfers from one form to another. So our consciousness is our soul. It's what makes us, you know, makes you and me. And I believe that is the thing that we are intelligently communicating with in the afterlife. I also believe in things like reincarnation, though, and I also believe in some higher entity, God, you know, however you want to describe him or her, that allows us to make choices and have free will. And if we want to be reborn, we can be reborn. Some people believe in different things because that's what religious scriptures told us. But who knows? I know as much as you, and awesome. I'm looking forward to the day that I eventually pass away, and I go, wow, now this
that's what it's all about. Yay! Who can I haunt?
Awesome. So I was admiring your tactical vest.
We were,
and I noticed that you might have a clutch full of. Is that thing heated inside? Do you have a clutch full of laser pens? And also,
where do you hide your torch?
Where do you hide your torch?
Right. So this is a tactical vest. So here are actually AA batteries. Okay?
Oh, awesome!
Instead of bullets, amazing.
Yeah, instead of bullets.
I thought they were like laser pens.
Yeah, and then my torch goes in this pocket here. Yeah. It's interesting because when I started wearing that, probably 15, 16 years ago. I don't know. I don't know anybody else was wearing them on television. I started wearing them only for convenience, not to look like an SAS officer. and I've never been in the military, and I don't pertain to ever having, gone in the army or any of that stuff. I used it because of the convenience of having different pockets for different things. But as the gadgets and gizmos have increased, and they seem to be too big to fit, and I can't fit them all in. So on my bed right here in this hotel room, I've got 2 cases there, 4 on the floor, 3 over there, and they're full. And there's no way of transporting them other than these massive cases. There's so much equipment out there these days.
There is.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I was looking at it, I was like, never fit a REM pod in there. Where's he going to fit that thing?
I've got REM pods in this one. Yeah. Hang on. This is my giant case, right?
Oh, yeah. We got things like that. Yeah.
The REM pod fits in there nicely, I think. It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Excellent.
Another question here. How do you feel about orbs? Do you think they're spiritual?
Oh, God.
Dust?
Let's not go into the debate. No, I'm going to lose followers. Okay. God's honest truth. 99% of all the orbs that you see on your phone, video, photographs, they can be explained logically. Most of them are dust. Most of them. Dust. Or bugs, or moisture, or pollen. Yeah. And the reason for that is because, take this phone, for example. You have a very bright LED light here. When you're using that light, and the lens of the camera's here, I've actually got 3 lenses. If a dust particle passes by this close to the camera, it will basically create what's called a circle of confusion. And that circle of confusion looks like an orb, and it will be semi-transparent. The dust reflects the infrared light back into the lens of the camera. Most of the time when using infrared cameras, for example, and you shake a velvet sheet, you're going to get like a cosmic sneeze of orbs, aren't you? The best way to debunk this for yourself, guys, is use your mobile phone, turn on the light, the LED light, and start recording, and shake a towel or something, and see what happens. Okay, so you will see that there's 100 billion particles of dead skin flying through the air, and most of the time that's what's recorded. However, I can't say that all of those orbs are dust, because I've seen light anomalies that we could call orbs. Some of them look circular, some of them look longer and whatever. They have their own energy signature. They move in a fashion that you wouldn't expect on normal air current. They are intelligently moving, or they come out of a wall and they'll enter into a person, or that kind of thing. Now, it's difficult, isn't it? Because there are certain times. Look, I'll give an example. There's when we were filming with Chris Fleming, he was laying on a bed in Nottingham, I think it was, one of the episodes there, and I was filming him using my mobile phone, and I saw a light anomaly passing directly over his body, but at the same time, he didn't know that I could see this. At the same time, he reacted to a change in the energy field of his aura. He said, my auric field has been disturbed, and boom, he was kind of like, and that was it. So there was something there, something that all I could see was the tiny white anomaly that could potentially have been dust. But as he reacted to it at the same time, it kind of made me question as whether or not there was something more spiritual taking place. Some people see orbs with their naked eye. Some people capture them on camera and videos and go, this just doesn't look normal. Well, then these are the ones that we need to look at more and think, I'm not going to say every single thing I see is dust. No, it's not. But most of the ones I receive, videos, photographs, I think there are logical explanations for them, definitely.
We've got a couple of that we captured at Merley House where they were like a light anomaly and they went across the screen, but they were, the way they moved, they weren't a bug, they weren't light.
They disappeared into the other wall, didn't they?
Yeah. Maybe.
And then descended largely. I did send them to Barry, actually.
Oh, did you?
And he had a look at them, yeah.
There's a question here, actually, I think Rosemary asked a question about how do you feel about orbs, but she said she's captured orbs that look like they have faces in them. I could see that there.
Yeah.
And that's it. And yes, sometimes when you stare at an object for too long and, a pattern, those patterns emerge, but our brains are pre-programmed to see faces in everyday objects. It's matrixing or pareidolia. And I did a workshop on this, and my attendees will all attest the fact that I've shown 100 examples of pareidolia in the everyday world. But with orbs, it is nice to think that if they are spirit energy, that they are showing the faces of the people that once contained that energy. I have seen some very convincing orb photographs where I can see faces, human-looking faces. But then I think to myself, it could just be the pattern. My brain is looking for something that's familiar, that makes sense to me, and scientifically proven that that's exactly what we'll see, you know?
Yeah.
So just think about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
But Brian's just asked a question.
So one of our questions was going to be, what's your favourite location in the UK? And Brian's just popped up with, do you have a favourite place and why?
Yeah. This is Brian Laverty from Through the
Canada.
Lens. He's on Huntophobia. That's on Paraflix. We
Hello,
just
Brian.
been filming with him in the UK as well, and he's a fan as well.
So, good question. I mean, I don't know. A lot of the places stand out to me. They're brilliant. I love the Hellfire Caves. I mean, I've been there 58 times, I reckon, in the last 10
You
years.
just sold out your next event, haven't you?
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry. I'll put the event up, and they'll sell within a day. So it's good. But there's that location is great. But I've been to so many. It's hard to kind of pick one that I would say is my absolute favourite. I think. Do you know what? Believe it or not, Smethwick Baths. I've had some brilliant results there.
Where's that?
Smethwick Baths in Smethwick, which is just outside of Birmingham. It's you have to hurry up. It's going to close down soon, right?
Oh no.
Okay.
This Art Deco building it's a swimming pool. You know, they have a public pool area there, but the place is teeming with spirits. The subway tunnels underneath, they were used as air raid shelters. It was built over a plague pit. There was just hundreds of different spirits there. There was a morgue there. And I've got some phenomenal, amazing EVPs and evidence from there as well. But likewise, sorry, Brian, it's such a difficult question to say. Every place is unique and has reasons for me to want to go back. If I don't go back to a place, it's because I just find it flat, uninteresting, and that's very rare. But I prefer to go to places that are less done. You know,
Yeah.
People overdo places, but there are some
like
places.
30 East Drive.
Yeah, well, I've never been, believe it or not.
No.
And I've got an event coming up, but I'm filming, so my team are actually delivering that for me.
Wow.
Okay.
Can you feel the energy sometimes when you walk in the place and think, something's booming in here?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's improved and increased over the years. I think just me doing this job has improved my sensitivity to the world of spirit. So I walk into a place and immediately the atmosphere is thicker. I can feel it. I'm actually more prone and susceptible to feeling electrical energy changes. For some reason, static and changes to the way the electricity or my own electromagnetic field is distorted. I feel that absolutely 100%. But audibly, I hear things as well. So, yeah.
Joanne's asked the question, do you believe that you have taken spirits home after an investigation? You did mention that you had an attachment, but has that ever happened again?
It does happen. I wouldn't say it's happened to me again. It can happen. I mean, I can't say it can't happen. I think that people are more susceptible than others. Sorry, dry throat. More water. So people are more susceptible than others. It depends on how spiritual they are, how open they are. We don't actually know why spirits or certain elemental energies cling to people. Why do they pick on certain people and not others?
Yeah.
Is it to do with that person's own spiritual energy, their thought projection process? Is it because they are intimidating in some way? Is it because that in a past life they were someone else, something else? I don't know. There's all these kind of questions that I've thrown up and tried to answer, but I won't know the answer to those. I do think it's possible. I think some people have to be more guarded and careful than others. It's important to protect yourself in your own way, however you do it, and there's no wrong way to do it. You can visualize, you can wear protective amulets, bracelets, necklaces, whatever. You can say prayer.
Yeah.
Carry a Bible, holy, whatever works for you. If it works for you, stick to it. Have faith in it. That's important.
This
We
is
should tell them to stay at the gate, don't we?
This is the issue with our guests. They're always reluctant to come on.
Petrified.
They're terrified. And we do the white light chant, which gives them protection. And they say, if you ever feel afraid, you think of that white light and it'll protect you. And we also tell them, you know, it's always best to tell the spirit to stay and it is not welcome in your home before you leave the location. And I think it's all about intent as well. I mean, I brought something home before. My children were saying, Mummy, it's talking to me and there's something in my room. And I went around the whole house and said, get the hell out of my house. This is my house. And I feel that if you're intent to like stake your domain, then yeah, definitely.
Oh, I agree. I mean, look, every single time I come back after filming, my wife won't even let me through the door without a selenite wand in her hand, smudge stick, and some
Sage.
run a bath, fill it with Himalayan salt, and say, get in and don't get out until you're feeling better.
Does your wife go out with you much on investigations?
She doesn't, bless her. I mean, she's always looking after the fort at home, looking after the kids, but she has done. But the problem is, she's very, very sensitive to spirit, you know, that clairvoyant way. In fact, the only time that she came out with me, well, not only time, but the first time she actually came out with me was in a local haunt near my house. And we went into what used to be a morgue area, and she suddenly felt this oppressive energy, and she said, it wants to speak through me. And I thought, oh God, any minute now she's going to trance, she's going to be channeling, I'm going to shit myself. And so I got someone else took her physically out of the place. But moments later, me being the professional, I just went, she'll be fine, I'll carry on. So I carried on with the EVP session, and we heard a DVP, direct voice phenomena. So three members of the public group and myself heard a response, played it back, and it was a male voice with a local dialect. And he said, help me to talk, bint.
Oh my giddy aunt.
Right?
That is horrendous.
And what did you do?
Well, I just went, whoa. And basically played it back over and over again, and then thought, well, night's done now. I've got the best evidence, so I'm going to go home.
I love it, you don't. Let's get out of here.
Well, he wanted to use her as a vessel to talk, to speak. Yeah. And he spoke, he left his voice on the voice recorder. So it was a powerful enough spiritual energy to do that. But it was amazing that myself and I think three other members that were with me, guests, all heard the same response from the right side of the room. So it was good evidence.
Were you both blinking at the ceiling that night? Slept with the lights on, maybe?
No, I'm pretty used to it now, to be honest with you. I'm very good at turning off. I mean, I'll do an investigation. I'll come back to the hotel room like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'll go, I'm not doing any evidence until I've had a bit of sleep. And I just go to sleep. And then I wake up and I'm fresh. Get
ready to go again.
Yeah.
Awesome. The Haunted Antiques Research Centre.
Neil Packer.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Parameet in September?
I might be filming, but if I'm not, I'll be there.
Cool.
Oh yeah, we went there. We had a sleepover. It was freezing.
Oh my god, so cold. We didn't sleep, did we?
But then I could hear, like, we slept in the doll's room, and I could hear like things moving and little children. And I did take 2 Procodamol that night, thinking it was going to knock me out, but I wasn't. I was in my cocoon, like blinking. Nothing touched me, please. All this stuff going on.
I'm there. I'm doing a public event there on the 13th, Friday the 13th of May. So after I finish this block, then I'll be there. 15 guests, and I don't know whether to sleep there or not. I'm toying with the idea, but I'm looking forward to it. I've been for maybe 2-3 years now, so
you really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, something happened. They touched the boobie, didn't they? My partner, and we nearly had a car crash on the way back. Do you know what I'm talking about? The haunted lady that it's an ornament. And they shouldn't have done it.
It's in a glass.
Yeah, they lifted the lid.
Neil might watch this.
Oh gosh, sorry, Neil. Yeah, they lifted the lid, and they both, Dan and Nando, both touched the boobie, and we nearly died on the way home. So yeah, it was good advertisement, isn't it? Don't do it. Don't touch it. No.
No, don't touch it.
Don't touch the boobie, Barry. He'll be there doing a film.
No, and then I pushed down the stairs or something after. No.
Jeez. What was your experience there, though? Did you find it really active?
Yeah, so the couple of times I've been there, the first time was with the Haunted Lives boys, so Paul and Simon and everyone, and we were doing it live with them. and I sat around the spirit boards that they have in the sounds room, and that heavy table moved in front of us live on video. That's pretty amazing in itself. There's no way you can physically do that without pushing it, or lifting it. It was very, very heavy. And then second time I went, there was a ventriloquist doll there.
Yeah, seen him. He's creepy, isn't he?
Yeah. I think I've got a video on my TikTok, which I very rarely use, guys, but I put a video up of that moment where the ITC response, I think he said his name. He said his name's Paul. That blew my mind. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good.
Amazing.
Okay. Well, we've had nearly an hour of your time. Is there any other questions?
Yeah.
No? Thank you very much, Barry. Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for talking to us. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we don't want to eat up too much because we know you need to get some sleep at some point. Yeah. And if you ever want to come on a ghost hunt with Portal to the Paranormal, please, just, look, I'll send you all our events and that. Come along.
Yeah, come join us.
We'll even drop you in as a secret guest, and nobody knows that you're going to be there. And boom, here I am. Surprise.
Well, thank you, girls. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks very much.
It's been an honour. I know we've been screaming.
Thanks for all your questions. I'm sorry if I haven't answered any questions that have come up, but appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much.
And guys, if you want to go on any of our events, visit www.portaltotheparanormal.co.uk. We've got a few going down at the bottom there. You want to book your event with us? It'd be amazing. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Take
Thank
care.
You, Barry.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao for now. Right.
And again.